Hello and welcome to 5 Minutes With by Climate Week NYC, bringing you a series of bite-sized interviews with some of the key people, organisations and businesses ahead of Climate Week NYC this September. Today, we are talking with Orsted. With a vision of creating a world that runs entirely on green energy, Orsted transformed from one of Europe's most fossil fuel intensive utilities to being ranked the world's most sustainable energy company and the world leader in offshore wind power. So I am delighted to be joined today by Mads Nipper, CEO of Orsted. Mads, thank you for joining us.
It is my pleasure.
Now, I have got a lot of questions on my magical card here. There we are. So I am going to jump straight in and start the clock. Question number one. This is a critical year as we look towards COP26. What is the central message that you are trying to put out there this Climate Week NYC?
Yeah, I think the recent IPCC report showed with all possible clarity that we are in a hurry. So I think the key message is following that is that there is still a chance for us to prevent the worst sort of consequences of climate change. And we know the technologies and most of what it takes. So what it really is up to us now is to be bold. And that's a message we want to try and convey, hopefully along with a lot of other people.
So our sort of slogan this year for 2021 is getting it done. What does getting it done mean for Orsted?
Well, for us, we are in the energy sector, and with the consumption and production of energy accounting for more than 70% of total emissions globally, we believe that the transformation of the world's energy system is at the very core of what will most enable us getting it done. And the great thing is the technologies exist. I mean, it is all there. So now it's down to getting it done to ensure that we have the right political framework, that we make it available. I mean, the land, the seabed, the consenting processes, all of that need to be speeded up to a level that we've never seen before.
It's interesting. You mentioned sort of technological solutions there, which obviously makes a lot of sense. I see a windmill behind you on the screen, but I suppose technology can only go some of the way. Governments need to do something as well. What steps do you think governments can make to help with this transition?
Well, they can start by setting bold targets and make climate policies that support it. But long-term targets are nothing without immediate action. And what politicians can do is they can ensure that in terms of making land, making seabed, making consenting processes available at very high speed, but also to ensure that, for example, the electricity grids are prepared for the future. They can start those investments and do it now. Because there are plenty of investors, there are businesses, there are people like us who are willing and eager to accelerate even further. But there will be roadblocks if we don't work very tightly together with politicians all over the world.
And in terms of that process of working with politicians and others, what role do events like sort of Climate Week NYC or COP26, COP27 next year, where do they sit in terms of your sort of political engagement strategy?
They are super important because this is sort of the pinnacle of where we have the opportunity to engage, where we have the opportunity at the highest possible level to ensure that we talk to the people, make everybody understand, but also listen and learn what it takes to accelerate, because nobody can do this alone. And that is also why we are there to engage. We are, of course, there to share our opinion about what's most important to get done, what we can contribute with, but we are also there to learn to say, how can we adjust so that we can ensure we make as big a contribution as possible to the transformation that the world needs.
Now, I mentioned earlier that you as an organization have gone through quite a transformation in terms of how you source energy. From that experience, are there any sort of key learnings that you've got from that you could share with other people?
There absolutely is. We even sort of published a paper around what were our key learnings. But some of the most important learnings are that whilst many of us walk around and think that this is a technological challenge, that's what stands in our way, it really isn't. It's a leadership challenge. It's about having the courage and the ability to be bold and make those transformations happen. So it really starts very much in the boardroom and the executive rooms of the world. And then to have a sufficiently clear foresight as to where's my business going. Be ruthlessly honest. Do I have a future-proof business? Am I doing the business the way I should? or am I really heading towards a set of cliffs, which we were at Orsted? And then the last thing is be bold and take action now. Don't postpone it.
You mentioned the leadership, and I think that's really interesting. Sort of, how much does sustainability need to filter through within an organization for an organization to really effectively manage this task?
Well, sustainability has generally gone from being something that happened in a department somewhere, but at all foresighted organizations, and I can certainly speak for Orsted as an example, it is at the very core of our business strategy. In my view, in our views, business and sustainability are completely inseparable, because it is meaningless to run a business that does not do something fundamentally good. And it's obviously meaningless as well to do something which is good but doesn't make any money to make it repeatable. So I can say that I am convinced, and we try our best to prove that it's possible, that doing good and doing well does not have any contradiction built in at all.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I'm glad I let you run over time a little bit there, because that was a great answer and really interesting to hear. Thank you, Mads. And if you want to find out more about Orsted, they will be taking part in the East Asia Energy Transition Unlocking a Renewables Boom event. That's going to be with Matthias Bausenwein, President of Orsted Asia Pacific, at the Hub Live on Thursday, September the 23rd at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. You can find details about that event, as well as the full Climate Week NYC program, September 20th through to the 26th, on our website and via the link below. Mads, thank you so much for joining us today. Really interesting answers, and look forward to following you more at Climate Week NYC. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.